I mentioned quick, if you look at Meta today, I just mentioned, I think last week on the call, I talked about some stocks that I owned, and I told you that I sold puts on Meta. I already had a 7-figure position, not huge, but I had a 7-figure position in Meta. And after hours, it was up. I don't know, earlier it was up about 11%. I don't know where it's at right now in after hours. But that's a significant movement. It's a 6-figure movement because their earnings report comes out good. And I mentioned that company just recently.
7% after.
All right, so it's up 7% right now. So still, again, it's a 6-figure movement. Up, 6 figures for nothing, because their earnings report is good. And they're forecasting good revenue for 2026. If you don't understand what's happening in the market, you won't have the confidence you'll never have the first $1 million, let alone millions of dollars to invest. And you'd never have the money or the confidence to invest, 7 figures or 8 figures in one company. And then, you just have average people results, Derek, thank you for speaking with us. Is options research something you do regularly as an adjunct to stocks research? How do you allocate your time to options research? Thank you. I got to do a lot of things, folks. I got to do a lot of things. I wake up, my body clock wakes up, about the stock market, about the time the stock market's going to open. Even if I'm in a different continent, my body knows like the market opens soon. And with no alarm, I'll tend to wake up, 20 minutes or so before the market opens. And I'll look at pre-market numbers. I'll see what's going on in the world. Yeah, I have to understand what's going on in the world day to day. So, no, I'm not sitting around doing, such tremendous research. No, not really. There's a few areas that I pay a lot of attention to. And it's important that I understand what's going on in the world overall. And if you understand how all the pieces fit together, then your brain will be like, we might go to war. We might have a real war, a war that matters. Let's think about going over here. Let's look at some opportunities over here. Like, interest rates are going to go down. Sweet. Let's look at some opportunities over here. Just whatever's happening in the world. There might be a market crash I don't know. I have to be aware of what's happening in the world, but I'm also not sitting around like, I got to research. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of, if you knew all the stocks on every exchange is like, I don't know, tens of thousands. You don't know all that. Nobody does. Buffett doesn't know that. But you have to know different areas and different sectors that you have some, sincere interest and develop an expertise in. And then you have to understand how the pieces fit together in the macroeconomy. And then you have to understand how the pieces fit together in the microeconomy, because those two things are going to dictate small business behavior and consumer behavior. And if you understand the consumer behavior and small business behavior, then you can start to have some thesis about what's going to happen with large businesses. Right? And now those options contracts become useful again. Do we want call options? I don't tend to buy options. I tend to be a seller. When I think things are very high, I sell calls. When I think things are low and maybe underpriced, or there's a disproportionate opportunity to get a return on investment, I sold some puts today. I sent Tony the screenshot earlier. I sold puts today on a company called Wolf, WULF. I'm not telling you to do anything with it, because if you don't know what you're doing, you'll find a way to fuck it up. I don't even think it's a great company to own long term, by the way. I don't necessarily want to own the company long term. But there's a silly premium that I sold. The stock was at like $15. I sold puts for $13.50 strike price. And I got paid 13 cents. And if I get paid 13 cents a share, stock has to go down 11% and I still break even. By Friday, the 2 days, 2.5 days, the stock has to go down 11%. For me, I say it differently. The stock has to go down more than 11%. If it goes down 11%, I'm back to a neutral position and I break even. If the stock were to go down less than 11%, then then I made that premium. Well, it's $15. It could get put to me at $13.50, which is a large margin of safety. And I'm getting paid 13 cents to maybe have to buy it at $13.50. So I'm getting paid, the 1% of the price that I would pay for the stock, 13 cents versus $13.50. I'm getting paid about 1% of what I would have to pay for the stock. And for that to happen, the stock would have to go down 11% by Friday in 2 more trading days. I guess the thing could go to $11 and I could be like, well, that sucks. That could happen. It could happen. And I'm like, well, if it was at, $13.37, right now it's at 15. If I saw it at $13.37, which is the $13.50 strike price minus the 13-cent premium, if I saw it at $13.37, I might go buy it anyway. I wouldn't mind owning it at $13.37. So it could go to 11 or something, and I could be like, well, not perfect timing on that one. And this is not big money, by the way. It's like I only sold 150 contracts, so that's 15,000 shares. That's 15,000 shares times 1350, which is, just rough math is, $200,000. But I got paid $1,900 after commissions. I got paid about $1,900 to insure that $200,000 for a couple days. So it's $1,900, but it's like it's not a huge amount of money. But and I don't want to say it's free money, but I feel so comfortable making little things like that. Is like, did I do a ton of research ahead of time? Like, no. I understand the company. If I own it for $13.50 or $13.37, okay, I don't mind owning it for $13.37. It was at, I think it went to $17 was a recent high. And if I end up owning it for $13.37 and it goes back near that recent high, then I can still make 30% or 30-something% profit on it. And okay, sweet. I can still make 30%. I think it probably will actually. But there's so much volatility with it. I'm like, I don't even care about owning the stock. I don't mind if I buy the stock at that price. That'll be okay. I don't mind. But I kind of just like selling options on it every week and collecting a few $1,000s. And, sometimes on that stock, I'm making over $5,000 a week. It's just up a lot right now. When it goes down more, if it's at $13 and I go sell a $12 strike price, then I'm like, all right, I'll buy it for $12. And now it's up more. It's gone up recently. And I'm like, well, there's no premium to be made on a $12 strike price. So I'll accept the higher strike price now that it's at a higher price itself, the underlying equity. But I don't know, I've been making, it's not huge money, but I make a few $1,000s every week from that stock. Now, at some time, the stock price can go down and it'll get put to me and whatever. And I don't care. That'll be okay. If I end up buying, 15,000, 20,000 shares, 25,000 shares, and I'm, say I buy 25,000 shares because it gets put to me that week, and I got my little options premium, and then the stock really crashed. They're like, okay, I'm down. Say it went down a lot, and I'm at negative $2. Okay, now I'm down 50 grand. But that's not the end of the world. I don't know how much I made. I'd have to look at the numbers, but just say in 9 weeks, say maybe I made $3,500 a week, $4,000 a week from that stock over 9 weeks. I probably made something like $40,000 on the stock. 30-some thousand, 35,000. So if I made 35,000 in options, something like that, if I made 35,000 in collecting options premiums, and now I own the stock and I'm down 50,000, well, then I'm down 15,000 really. If I'm down 15,000 on 25,000 shares, for the example that we're given, that's 60 cents. I needed to move 60 cents to get back to even. Yeah, probably I'd be fine if it went, it'd have to go to $11 for that to happen. And it was at 17 recently. So if I need to get to 11.60 for a break even, and there's a decent chance it'll go back to 15 or 20. It wasn't at 20, it was at 17, but there's a decent chance it could do that. Okay. By the way, there's also a decent chance if the economy fell apart right now, that stock can go up to $3. The stock can go back to like $3, $2. So I don't want to own a lot of it. And if I had 25,000 shares put to me, I might start selling call options on the other side, because I don't really want to hold a lot of that stock. But it doesn't scare me to have the stock in the short term. I'm happy collecting the put premiums, and if it gets put to me, I'll probably go right back to the market, and I might start selling. Depends on the price. I might start selling calls instead and collecting a call premium until the stock gets called away from me. So I don't mind. I'll make money with it, and it's amusing to me in the process. And I'm not doing things that are huge amounts of money. Like, I'm not telling you guys to take risks on that. There's a different investing strategy. The way I usually use puts is the stock that I want to buy anyway, that I'd be happy to hold it for several years. These stocks I don't really want to hold for several years. But yeah, you is another one. 4 U's. You. Where I was selling options on it, and then I got a chunk put to me. I got another chunk put to me, and I'm up. I don't know. I'd have to look. I'm up 80% or something. And I don't mind owning that one because I think, that can go up even more. That's like uranium and rare earth minerals. That can go up a lot more. So I'm not selling calls on that. I'm up. The stock I made the put premiums. The stock's up about 80% from what I paid for it, and I'm not selling calls on it because I don't mind owning the stock. I'm happy to own the stock. And if the stock goes back down again, I'll start selling puts again. So I'd be happy to have more of it put to me because I think it'll go back up and I think it'll go higher than it currently is. So that's a different thought than I have about this other company. So, but you have to make your own decisions. I'm just giving you some examples. You have to make your own decisions. I sold Meta. I sold puts on Meta. I think the strike price was $6.40 strike price, $7. I got paid about $7 for a couple days. And, and the stock ended up getting put to me, and it went down further. It went down to 602 maybe last week, something like that, about 602. So at that moment, I'm down $30-some a share, about $31 a share at that moment on that new acquisition. But now it turned around and I'm up. So I was down 15,000 and now it turned around and I'm up 50,000. And I think that company will do fine long term. So I'm not selling calls on it. I'm like, okay, I don't mind owning Meta for, under 650. I think it'll do fine. It was at 800. Someday it'll be $1,000 or more. Someday it might be a lot more. So yeah, I don't mind owning it for, 650 or thereabouts. 600 starts to look like a good deal. So I'm like, okay, if I end up with more at 633, fine. Sweet. And it went down a little further, and I was down about, on that new, it was only 500 shares, $500,000, 300-some thousand dollars. But I'm like, okay, on that new little money, I made 3,500 on the puts, and then I'm up 50,000 on the stock after that. I'm like, sweet. So yeah, you have to make your own decisions, but I'm just telling you a few ways that I think about them. But don't have a delusion that, like, I don't know, it's good for you to be obsessed for a while and research. But just find a few areas that you have enough expertise and enough comfort, and you have to understand the global economy. You have to understand the microeconomy. You have to understand statistics, all the things that are from the 10 Commandments of Wealth program. And then, particularly the content from these 3 mentoring programs, that gives you an amazing foundation to make great decisions. Does it solve every problem in the world? No, I don't see every opportunity in the world. I'd be the world's first trillionaire if I did. And I'm not. So I don't even have $1 billion. So I'm still a long way from $1 trillion. No, I miss plenty of opportunities. But I also see plenty of opportunities that other people don't see. And that's not my only goal in life. I also like to be strong. I also like my MMA. I also like a few other things in my life. It's not the only thing I'm doing, but it's easy for me to stay aware. Once you have the information and the structures in your head, then you're just paying attention to all right, what's going on in the world this week? And how do I make money with it?
You watch this video all the way through, and that tells me you're dedicated to learning more and earning far above average outcomes in your life. Congratulations for that. But now it's time to take action. If you could have earned those results by yourself, you would have done it already. My head coach has opened up a few spots on his high-demand calendar for an in-person, one-on-one strategy session to help you. On this call, we'll give you the pragmatic advice that you can implement tonight to get laser-focused on the right metrics and leave mediocrity far behind in your past. Click that link right now in the description below and apply for your call immediately. Do it now.